just because it hasn't been your kid that isn't coming home that night, just because it's not your family member that's lost a life or your friend that's lost a life, doesn't mean it's not happening. The women in Texas that were voting for Trump, that were lifelong Republicans that almost lost their lives because of restrictions on abortion in that state. Mm-hmm. They're not voting for him anymore because it happened to them. It took them being the victim of what's happening to understand that. And what I would ask is, do something about it before you do have to have that hard truth.
Yeah.
Do something about it before you do have to lose a loved one, before you have to lose your own life.
Why do people lack so much empathy? Like for me, I see people hurting, I hurt. Like I see something that needs to be done, I go and do it. Like I would risk life and limb to help anyone's child. Anyone's child. You know, a MAGA's child. Like anyone's child.
I was a nanny for 6 years, and I worked for some of the most Republican, rich people in South Carolina, raising their kids. I don't care who they're voting for. I'm still going to take care of their kids. I'm still going to have my heart drop a little when I drop them off at school, even though they're parents. Like, if you care so much about the kids, like everyone, like a lot of the right preaches is protect the children. Where are you? What are you doing? That is my point.
I get you. This is another conversation that I'd love to put a pin in and really kind of let's do a whole live about it. Let's get, our communities together. Let's have, I want to have like open, thoughtful conversations about this, because I think even within our own like leftist side, there's very differing opinions on how to do this. And the only way that we find something that works close to for everyone is to hear everyone's opinion.
I mean, listen, I know like the majority of like my generation, at least, streamers. I know all like the political debater boys. And I've gotten pushback from them on this because they think that it work, and I just don't find it realistic. Right. I mean, I don't think that it's going to happen. It wouldn't even get passed through Congress. Like even the most democratic, like AOC progressive, it's not realistic. It's an encroachment on their right.
Yeah. I agree. I would definitely like to talk about this more.
Yeah, for sure.
And I want to thank you so much for coming up. I apologize that we're cut a little short.
No, you're good.
Today has just been pretty rad. We've had a lot of really good conversations and people popping in that I didn't think were going to make it. So it's been a cool day. And I want to thank you so much for being a part of it.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say is, on the topic of Second Amendment, the reason I'm voting for Kamala Harris, the reason that I am voting left down ballot, because I fully believe we can reason with the party that actually wants to do something about it. I don't think we can reason with the right. They don't want to do anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Not until it affects them. So I guess we'll just have to, do it ourselves or wait until it affects enough of them. To, make a change within themselves. So I agree. I think you need to keep doing what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate you.
Have you done college?
Not yet. I'm still debating on what I'm doing.
I see law school in your future.
That's what everyone says. It's either law school or running for a seat in something. Yeah. But I like yapping. I like saying my opinions very bluntly and exactly what I think, and sometimes you can't do that in those positions.
Try and be a campaign manager.
Sure. We'll see. You never know. You never know.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Everyone give Diana a follow, hearts in the chat, share the love, and we will talk soon. I hope you have a great night.
Have a good night.
All right, bye. Steve.
Hey, friend.
How are you?
How you holding up is the question.
I'm tired. Yeah. I'm tired. I'm getting a little hangry here, but it's been good. It's been really good. It's been very effective. We've raised quite a bit of money for Mamala.
That's awesome.
Um, just so you guys know, the cash up here, we are going to send all of the money raised to. We have to be careful about what we say on here.
Yeah.
The tickety tockety doesn't like things. So we are raising funds for Mamala. And then if you donate $5 or more, any amount, I will spin the wheel. And whatever it lands on is the amount that I will match. So I've been keeping a tally all day today. What did I say? I think we're at 94, 99, maybe 94, 90. I don't know. But we got it written down here, and we're just going to keep, as they come in, we're going to keep spinning the wheel and keep hoarding away some moolah for Mamala. And then what I like to do is I like to give it during match periods. So when you see during a lot of the different like debates or whatever, you'll have someone that's matching like 400%, 500%, 600%. So we give up to the max, and then we wait for the next one, and then we give up to the max, and then we wait for the next one, and we try to push this as far as we can, and keep very active within donating to the campaign.
I do the same thing. That's always been my strategy too. I love those matches.
Yeah, we push it as far as we can. All the gifts today will go to it as well. I'm not looking to make any money here. I just want to do as much good as I can with the now very small voice that I have.
It keeps getting smaller, but not because, see, look at it this way, like we've talked about. It's because you're doing something good.
I know.
That's it's a badge of honor in a strange way.
It's sad. Every time, most people are working on growing their accounts. It's like mine are shrinking. I hate it here.
We love the TikTok shop, though. We love the TikTok shop. Just love it.
It's the end of the night. Whatever.
Gotcha. Yep, I'm with you.
So, tell me, we were going to talk about universal health care and education. Was that it?
Public education and a whole bunch. I mean, I can talk about anything you want. Anything that you want to know. And I thank you for having me. I appreciate that. For anybody who's just followed me here, if you've not met Cece, fabulous creator, friend of our family, I've been honored to have her join me a couple of times. So please support her and her cause here. It's great.
I appreciate you. Yeah, give a follow, join the team, hang around. We keep it pretty. If you like Steve's energy, you're gonna kind of like it here.
That's true.
It's kind of it's similar. We come from a good place. We try to meet people where they're at. We try to relate with them and what makes them tick and why they vote that. I'm speaking for you. I'm so sorry. This is what I stand for, and it seems like it resonates. But
it does.
Oh, the trash panda. That's so cute.
Love the trash panda. Thank you. Yes, it does.
But yeah, so I'm here to change votes. I'm not here to win a debate. I couldn't give a shit about a W or an L in the chat. I don't care if someone likes my opinion or doesn't like my opinion or wants to gift or doesn't want to gift. I just want to change votes. I want this world to be safe for my children. I want women to be safe. I want our kids to be able to be educated. And I think that's definitely where we can start diving into public education, right?
Yeah. It's again, thanks for having me, Cece. I appreciate it. It's so funny. I was thinking about this driving home. So my daughter's in a high school play, and I'm directing the play. So I just left a high school auditorium with a bunch of high schoolers, and I was thinking, I was watching them, and I'm thinking, I know we're gonna have this conversation tonight. And I'm in a school, and it's in a pretty good community, but the arts have been defunded there. There's not a lot of support for arts programs, and it just got me thinking about our topic. So when I joined TikTok, it was because my partner at the time, she had developed a bit of a following, and it was just kind of random. I'm like, what is this thing, this TikToky thing? What is it? I initially wanted to do it to kind of test out some stand-up comedy and have a place to kind of practice some of my comedy. And then I was like, wow, there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation on this platform. And it got me thinking, like, I've served in state government. What I do professionally requires me to be very, very thorough with my fact checking and making sure that I'm providing accurate information. I've always been engaged. I'm a political junkie. I've always been engaged in it. I'm thinking, all right, there's an opportunity here to kind of talk about this stuff. And lo and behold, it's turned into this community that we created. And throughout this, I've realized that I'm a progressive politically, so I don't like the status quo. I want our society to move forward.
Mhm.
And I think because of what we see with a lot of misinformation and disinformation, it's because people are susceptible to it. And I think that's where public education or education in general comes in. It's not saying that someone needs to go to college. It's not saying that someone needs to pursue education after high school, but there needs to be a basic understanding of what critical thinking is and how to navigate through the misinformation, disinformation highway. So as a progressive, I want to overfund public education.
Mhm.
I want teachers to be compensated for the work that they do. I want to overpay teachers. I want school districts to have to fight for high quality teachers, and I want it to be competitive. And I want it to be a paying position so that they can be revered and respected in our society like they are. Can you tell I was raised by a teacher? So I
Yeah,
have
I'm married to one.
well, there you go. So you get it. So that's part of it, right? I mean, again, I think it's related to the other topic we discussed about universal health care. I want a society that's smarter. I want a society that's healthier. And these are the kinds of things that, ironically enough, having worked on two of Bernie Sanders' campaigns when I was younger, much younger, Bernie's been talking about Medicare for all for decades. He's been talking about it forever, right? And it used to be considered so extreme.
Honey,
And
hold on one second. Honey, can
okay,
you go get
sure.
the Bernie cutout?
Get the
And
money
then
cut
can you
out.
say hi?
Grab the mittens too.
We have a life size, yeah, with the mittens. Get the mitten. Don't forget the mittens. We got
Don't forget the
a
mittens.
life size Bernie cutout that we like to prank our neighbors with.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, so
yeah.
so that's part of it, right? It used to be considered extreme, and I think about if we want. I mean, there's no reason a nation like ours with innovation and this excellence that we claim and our ability to do anything and accomplish anything, but yet our society it doesn't have the basics. I believe that healthcare is a you know is a fundamental human right. As you know, Cece, we've talked about this before. I am a 10 toes down supporter for human rights, and it
Yes.
has to start with making sure our society's healthy. And people go into bankruptcy because of medical debt. People don't get treatment for things because they can't afford it or don't have insurance. I'm a small business owner. I have the ACA. I don't want expansions of the ACA. I don't want small bites of the apple. I want the whole damn pie. I want universal health care, right? So
Yeah.
a society, and I know, so my vote for Kamala Harris is not necessarily that she's going to be able to implement universal health care. Oh, look at that. That's fabulous.
You got.
Hello, I'm Bernard Sanders. I'm
And this
leaning on my head. I'm
say
standing
hi.
sideways.
This is my friend Steve that you hear in the background all the time. This is my husband.
Hey,
He
man.
is an educator as well.
Teachers.
So he's the smarty pants physicist. So
That's awesome.
Go Walls.
oh, there we go.
That's awesome. Respect. Respect, bro. Appreciate you very
You need
much.
to put him in the back so you can see him. Like put him
He-
back.
He needs to be in every live you do, Cece, so everybody
Yeah.
can see me.
This needs to happen.
It does need to happen. It does need to happen.
Look out.
Um,
Move that.
yeah, but I mean that's the drill. That's the drill for me. I love it. That's the perfect spot. He's got. I
Reach
like the
over
mood.
a smidge.
Yeah, over a smidge.
There we
a little bit
go.
over there. The
There we
mood
go.
lighting is perfect. It shows off my eyes. That's so funny. I should find a picture of my daughter shaking Bernie's hand a couple times.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh. I'm gonna start
that's-
busting out the Yiddish over here. Oy vey.
Oy vey, let's do it. Let's go. Let's do it. Anyway, that's my think. That's the so.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
that being a cis hetero man in society, I've contributed to this mess that we're in. White men created the Constitution. White men were slave owners. White men built capitalism. White men built our financial institutions. And I feel obligated to be on the accomplice side of the fight back against these things, to gain some independence for marginalized groups, respect the rights of women and their bodies. I've got a daughter, hashtag girl dad, but I've also got two sons, and I want them raised in a society where they can do the same. And it's just, it's frustrating. It's defeating at times, but that's been the goal of the right for decades. Chaos and mayhem exhaust the people on the left so they won't fight back. That's been the biggest shift that I've seen. It's nice to be on offense for a change. It's really nice.
Yeah, 100%. Ugh. You always have a way of putting things like, I'll think the same thing, but then you say it so much better.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
And I'm like,
It's just-
yeah, that.
Yeah, that. Yeah. I appreciate that. it's just a weird. I mean, we're at such a crucial time, and we did a live about this just recently about it was a very controversial topic about white men's voices matter. My point behind it, it didn't land as well as I thought it might. My point behind it is that if we as white cis hetero men in our society show up at the polls, then we're talking about changing our political future for the next generation and beyond, because that's the last bastion of true Republican support. You can look at the exit polls from 2020. You can look at demographics as to how people vote, and it's
Mhm.
white men. We're the last holdouts by and large. So think about the future. If that the group that created the situations that we're in, right? This the system of systemic racism and all the things we mentioned earlier, what an opportunity to flip the whole thing on its head. What an opportunity. And I'm here for that.
So with universal health care,
Mhm.
if we look at what Bernie Sanders' model was, I believe it was a little while ago, so bear with me. And I, I partake in the green, so
Sure.
most of the things I see in the evening can escape me. But I thought Bernie Sanders did, in order to cover the cost of Medicare, it was a penny tax, or sorry, universal health care was a penny tax on trades.
Yeah,
Right.
Wall Street speculation. Yep. Yep.
So why aren't we doing that?
Well, I think there's many, many, many reasons. I think part of the issue that really scared people off, especially those on the right, was the price tag, because they looked at $10 trillion, but over 10 years, right? What
Right.
people fail to realize, the other side of that coin, is that um, I think the average American pays, I want to say it's between $5,000 and $7,000. It might even be higher than that, maybe $7,000 and $10,000. My mods will fact check me. I'll get slapped around in the morning because I got something wrong. But it could be upwards of $10,000 on average, because you think of it this way: we, the insured, pay for the uninsured in our system. So emergency room visits and things like that. So yes, there would be an increase in our taxes, but that out of pocket cost goes away. So it's almost self funding in a way, and again, tax the rich. So another example of progress. I appreciate Kamala Harris wanting to raise corporate taxes. That's awesome. But I don't want a 1 or 2 point increase. I want a 5 or 10 point increase, so that we can overfund public education, so that we can offer, universal health care, or whatever that might be, so we can continue to invest in our climate. And the funny thing is about Joe Biden, ironically enough, and I was kind of doing an analysis in prep for our conversation, legislation in his administration is probably some of the most progressive we've ever had in our country, if you think about it. Investments in climate, massive investments in infrastructure. All these things are traditional, or what progressives have been talking about for a long time. And here's an 80-year-old career politician who's responsible for that. So hats off to Joe. But it's that kind of stuff. That's how I want to keep our society moving. And tax the rich. It seems simple, and people think about, yeah, tax the rich. But that's the answer. It's corporations that have been taking advantage of the system of welfare that we have, because welfare corporations and the richest are the biggest recipients of welfare in our country. They're the ones that receive the most subsidies and the most government handouts. So let's go. Tax the rich.
So I have a little announcement. Devo, the amazing Devo, has offered to match up to $100 in donations that come in from now until the end of the marathon.
Wow.
We'll be here for about an hour and a half.
That's awesome.
So you have a couple opportunities to help here, because also for every donation, $5 or more, I will also spin that wheel and I will match what it lands on. So this is how you do it, guys. This is how you stretch the, what you can do as far as you can. So I want a big W for Devo in the chat.
Yes.
I want to see 139 capital W's for Devo, because that is an extremely, extremely generous offer.
Thank you, Devo.
So,
And then in part of a progressive shift too, CC, is that it's about the down ballot races as well. That's why literally every day, multiple times a day, when I'm live, I'm reminding people to check their voter registration. Do you know where your polling locations are? Do you know what election laws have changed in your state? Because many states have. We know that Georgia's dealing with a bunch of bullshit right now. By the way, and shout out to anybody who's in Florida, please heed the warnings of your local officials. Get your ass out of there.
Evacuate. Evacuate now.
Yep.
Get your shit. Get your pets. Get out.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
they've upgraded it to a Cat 5.
I know.
I think it's going to hit land, they're saying, is a Cat 4, but remember, Charlie was a Cat 1.
Correct. Correct.
So Helene was a 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get out.
So heed the warnings. And as a reminder, some elements of Project 2025 would be the removal of FEMA. NOAA would no longer exist. The National Weather Service. All the ask yourself these questions, like, what kind of society do you want? What kind of future do you want for your kids? I'd love to have. I got called out the other day saying, you don't want to have a conversation about policy. I'm like, yes, I do. I match energy. Do it. Spin the wheel.
We got a $5 donation from Corey. So let's see. It's already a $10 donation. So let's see what it's
No
gonna.
whammies. No whammies.
It's this one.
Yeah, that one.
$10.
$10.
So you just made a $20 donation.
There you go. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yay!
That's awesome.
All right, we're keeping track here, guys.
You've got a good community.
I have the best community.
You really do.
I mean, your community's pretty great too.
Appreciate it.
There are also a lot of them are part of my community, so I can't dog them too hard.
we share communities. We're cousins.
Share the love.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Oh, I love it. And I love the whammies. Oh, what was that? Press your luck.
Press your luck.
Yeah. Oh gosh, we're dating ourselves so
Gen
hard
X,
right now.
Gen X.
So I'm a Zennial.
No.
I'm 2 months away from being Gen X.
We'll invite you. There's a quiz. You have to take the quiz and pass the quiz.
I can pass
you just
it.
Passed it. You just passed
I
it.
could pass it. Press your luck. That was like, and Price is Right. The days where you stayed home with your grandma.
Totally.
You were sick from school. Press your luck. Price is Right.
Yep.
If your grandma
Family
was a
Feud.
little trashy, maybe some, Jerry Springer.
Yeah. Family Feud. My grandmother would watch her shows.
Her stories,
Her
right?
stories.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
My
yeah.
stories.
But I gotta watch my stories. Like,
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
so, I'm telling you, I'm definitely Gen X at heart all the way. So,
one thing I also wanted to mention, if I could, I think it's just, and I was just talking about this before you spun the wheel, about it's the kind of society that we want. And I was called out recently saying that I don't want to debate policy, and that's absolutely not true. If you've been in my lives, I'll match energy. I'll have a conversation with anybody about anything, but I can't have a conversation about tax plans or economic policies or what we're going to do about immigration if people don't believe that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. So there's a line there. So my message to MAGA is, like, if you truly want to have a conversation about these things, then maybe don't identify as MAGA. Maybe accept the fact that, we are all connected in our society. And just because we are blue and or D and or vote this way, it doesn't mean that, speaking of D,
look who I found.
I know. Look who you just classed up the joint. Seriously, I should step aside now. You just literally classed up the joint.
How we doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I just flew back into Tampa today.
Oh, why?
Shit and get out again.
Well, so what happened was I was in California with my brother, my stepmom, and dad. My brother has cancer. He's getting treatment over there, and I was supposed to be there until Thursday. But I didn't want to take a chance of the Tampa airport getting shut down for days because I only brought enough medication with me to last until Thursday. Because before I left, the hurricane we didn't know about the hurricane. It wasn't a thing. Right. So I only brought enough medication. So I had to come back early, unfortunately, just to avoid potentially being stuck there for days without my medication. So I just flew back in a handful of hours ago, and I'll probably end up going to my brother's house, who lives a bit more inland. His elevation is about 160 feet above sea level. I'm about 35, 40 feet above sea level. And he's about 20, 30 miles more inland. So, and they have backup generators and all that stuff. So I should be fine at his place.
Are they predicting a surge level at this point, or?
Yeah. So where I am currently right now, I'm not in the evacuation zone. Where I am, I live close to the Tampa airport. I'm right outside of it. So it puts me in that weird spot. That's why I'm just going to go to my brother's, because he lives 20, 30 miles northeast-ish of me.
Okay.
So
Take nurses with you.
what's that?
Take nurses for Harris with you. Just got me worried.
Yeah, so that's why I came back. Otherwise, I would have, of course, stayed there. But I just medication stuff, So, anyways, I'll be okay
That's one thing we're telling everyone. If you're gonna evacuate, heed the evacuations. Make sure either way that you have at least. Now, if if you are somewhere else, they can, you might have to pay for it, but your doctor can call in a prescription to another pharmacy, and they'll be able to.
So I couldn't do that while in California because the medication I'm on. I can talk about. I'm on Suboxone. It's for opiate addiction. And I've been on for years. It's a controlled substance. It's not something that you can get filled across state lines.
Right.
It's something I would have to go. I just wouldn't be able to. And I only had enough with me at the time. So
someone like you needs to make sure. I mean, someone like me as well. I take another medication that has a similar, control to it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you want to make sure you have at least a week or two of that medication on you. If you're staying in Florida, if you're not heeding the warning for evacuation, I'm just going to say take 3 days of medication, stick it in a Ziploc bag, shove it in your bra, stick it in your pants, whatever you got to do, but have it on you. Have it on you in case you have to run. Have it on you in case you get injured and, whatever. If you can't get to it, just make sure you have it physically on your person. Get a fanny pack. They're back in style, I guess. I do, but...
We're starting to go back in style.
Are they? No? Are they back?
We'll make a push for it.
Allegedly. But,
White socks with Crocs, too? I mean, seriously, let's go all in.
No, don't do that.
Of course. And the first one I went to was all closed, and I didn't want to waste gas driving around, so I just went right back home. So I currently have about 30 miles to empty left of gas in my car. That kind of puts me in a tough spot. Yeah, so so I'm probably gonna have to Uber to my brother's house. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to because I can't. His place is about 30 miles away, and I do not want to risk run out of gas on the highway or something.
Are you going to go in the
thanks,
morning?
Doug. As an empath here, you just add one more thing for me to worry about. I appreciate that, buddy.
I'm sorry. I'll be okay.
I said earlier, I was like, not to make this about me, but you guys are really rude for making me worry about. Apparently, half the creators on TikTok live in Tampa.
Seems like a lot live in the Florida area. Yeah,
it's nuts. I've kind of had to juggle everyone around because of people having to leave, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, can you please at least post a video or something? Just let people know because
Mama Mia said there's. So I guess Gas Buddy is an app where it tells you if there's open gas stations in the area. Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't know about that. So I should do that because I need gas. So I'll see if I can do that.
And even if you're going to Uber, earlier the better because they're not going to be able to get gas either.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And they're not going to make enough to make it worth waiting in those lines.
I was
There's
introduced
not
to
as many
Gas
Uber
Buddy.
drivers because when I flew into the Tampa airport and I Ubered back to my place, which is only 10-15 minutes from the airport. Normally it would cost me $20 for Uber. It cost me $50. It was a $50 Uber drive to drive 10 or 15 minutes.
Gas Buddy became my friend on a motorcycle trip out west because there's lots of space between towns when you get to the western U.S. And I was introduced to Gas Buddy. I'm like, wow, this is a lifesaver. Literally.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure it helps.
Yep.
So, anyways, I appreciate the concern. I'll be okay though.
We got you.
Yeah.
So I have Olive is coming up here in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I got you. I appreciate you having me, Cece. I think this is
I'm
great.
okay if all of you guys are up, but I know she wants to speak on youth voters. But I'm cool with all of you if you want to hang out, if you want to go, easy peasy, whatever.
We both know Olive very well, so it's totally fine.
Olive is a Gen Z influencer.
That way.
Olive is a Gen Z influencer, and you can ask her. You could ask her who gave her that title. Just FYI, when the time comes.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You can
I always
ask.
laugh when you say it, like it's cute, not like.
No, that's the thing. She's a Gen Z influencer, and she's got to own it. She's owning it. So good for her.
I love it.
You can ask her.
Yeah, Steve gave me that name, and then Doug just gives me crap all the time when I'm on his live. So, yeah,
Sharing the love. Remember,
Yeah.
when the kidding stops, so does the love. Remember
yeah,
that.
yeah, I know. It's not like I helped him with his Discord at all. God forbid.
You talking about me or him? Because you probably
Steve knows I love him, and I love Cece to death. You're the one that gives me so much crap on your own live.
It's all out of love.
Sorry.
It's all out of. That's what they all say.
I don't know how to express emotions maturely, so I do it by criticizing you. So.
By criticizing you. It's the same childhood thing.
We warn women about this.
Right? Yeah, all the time. Look, my preschoolers all know the sole fact that just because someone kicks you doesn't mean they like you. Okay? I've explained that. Actually, today alone, I got hit with a broom by a kid, so that was fun.
Assault. That kid doesn't like you.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Hey, Doug, just so you know, Arizona Devil thinks that you and I are beta cucks. So.
I saw that comment.
Oh, God.
Nice. Thanks, Arizona. We appreciate you, pal.
I'll
You have a good
probably
night.
wear the badge.
If you think about it, we're all here smiling, laughing, having fun, and they're doing anger thumbs in the comments and whatever live pops up.
Oh, God, yeah.
Winning.
Yep.
Friendly
Pizza
reminder,
rolls.
you can scroll. The pizza rolls.
Reheated. Pizza rolls.
Reheated. But yeah, no, Cece, this man coined Gen Z influencer for me, and I have taken my flowers, and I try to every single day. Actually, it helped me with college in my master's program, minoring in political science. I am the captain of the debate team because of this man right here, because my professor and a couple of my classmates have heard me speak, and they're like, she's great for it. And I'm like, what did I sign myself up?
That's so funny. I love it.
Yeah, I'm
Taking
excited.
names, my friend. You go.
I'm trying to.
Do it.
So Olive wanted to speak on the youth in politics and voting. Being the Gen Z influencer, of course.
Yeah, and when we're talking about my generation, when people think about it, they don't think someone who's informed as me. They don't think about someone who talks as I do and how I explain myself very well. I have been told multiple times on this platform, there's no way you're almost 23. I can show you my birth certificate, or as I call it, my receipt. I can show you exactly when I was born, where I was born. If you want my social security number, you can have it as well. But the thing that's been really difficult has been trying to encourage my generation to vote. We've had people like Taylor Swift endorse Kamala. She has a huge influence on my generation, but there's no guarantee that they're going to vote. And the biggest thing that I have tried to push onto my generation, especially the women in my generation, is the sole fact that in the year of 2024, we're still actively fighting for our rights. You guys have heard me share my story multiple times. I've gone through a try to conceive journey. I have gone through decisions of terminating pregnancies. I was married at a young age, and divorced at 22. I have made huge decisions at my young age. And I continue to make those huge decisions at my young age. With the education that I have, furthering my education, going into student debt. It's just, a lot of people underestimate, especially the younger generation. And my encouragement is to keep, my generation to move forward faster. That don't be ashamed because of your age. I'm sure we deal with it all the time on platforms on a daily basis. People who are 18, 19, just starting to vote, don't know where to go. I did. I knew exactly where to go to vote, but a lot of that is because of my background and, what my dad did for 20 plus years of his life and what my ex-husband did and the fact that I surround myself with the military. That's the primary reason why other reasons, but one of the biggest reasons why I'm voting Kamala over Trump. Project 2025 talks about taking away veterans' benefits. My dad did not serve 20 plus years for this country for it to be ripped away. My mom didn't sacrifice. I didn't sacrifice. My sister didn't sacrifice for 20 plus years for his benefits to get ripped away. Whenever I speak and I try to speak, and Steve's had me on his live, I'm on Doug's live a lot. I've been in lives with you, CC. Every time I speak, it's just to make sure that people understand that even though I'm young, I know what I'm talking about.
You do.
Don't underestimate my knowledge. My brain's big. It's not fully cooked yet, but my brain's pretty big.
I mean, it's impressive for a non fully formed prefrontal cortex. Like, I'm impressed. I think a lot of times people equate age with experience. And for the most part, they do go hand in hand, right? Obviously, you're going to have more experiences the older you are.
For sure.
But, you know, we don't know the sum of the person. We don't know all of the experiences that have led them to that point. And that's why I try to be kind of gentle with a lot of these conversations, because some people might have experienced more than me at a younger age. Some people may not have experienced very much at all. So, you know, with meeting people at where they're at, Olive, you're not only very educated, but you're very open to hearing what other people have to say. And that's something that, like, it's not a race for everyone to learn as much as they can, as fast as they can, but to continually learn, continually grow, continually take in all of the, like, opinions and the experiences and the knowledge around you and make it applicable to your life and your decisions. And I've known you for
You've known me since December. Yeah, close to a year now.
Like, even because it was before I was even doing, like, before I was doing the lives.
Yeah, maybe even November time frame, like November.
Yeah,
I've been following this dude for a while. I've been following him for a while. But you and I, when we first met, I even think it was on my own live, if I'm not mistaken, or it was like Dems or someone.
Yeah.
And then we kind of connected, and then we kind of talked and stuff like that. And you talked about your woman empowerment, the coffee fund that you have up there and stuff like that. And I was like, sign me up. Where do I go? What can I do next? You know? But that's the thing, right? I've always wanted to be someone who supports everyone and helps everyone to the best of my ability. I think I've told all three of you, if there's anything I can do, let me know. If I can do anything that needs to be done, because I want to make a change, you know? One of my first dream job was to be press secretary. That was my dream job as a kid. Maybe it could still happen. Maybe. I don't know.
I wanted to make candy.
You could.
I cared about politics when I was a kid. I don't think that was a thought on my mind.
No, I wanted to be
I was a weird child.
Yeah. I think I wanted to drive an ice cream truck.
That's good. Yeah, see? Olive knows how much Olive knows how much I love her, but I give her shit just because we talked about before about how I don't really care how many people go to a Swiftie concert. I don't care how loud you are in the streets. I don't care how many rallies you go to. What I care about is you go to the voting booth and you friggin' vote, because the power of your generation is so unlimited. And again, Cece and I were talking earlier about overfunding public education. One of my wishes, universal health care. You know, obviously her previous guest talking about changes to gun legislation. That is going to come from your generation. You know, it's the tail end of millennials into Gen Z. So show up, please.
I did my early voting. If there is to 150 people in here, if you are between the ages of 18 to 24, 23, I'm going to go with 23. If you have not registered to vote, please do so now. We are underneath a month. Don't be on the fence. Think about your future. Think about our future. Think about the sole fact of where you want to be. Only voting twice in my lifetime. I want to continue to vote. I do. I want to keep voting. I want to keep using my voice. I have a loud one from the Midwest. I am proud to say I am loud. I'm obnoxious, but I'm smart. And I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Love it.
You know, I already did. But you don't have to be mad at me. This Gen Zer voted. I voted mail-in ballot. Just did not get a sticker, which makes me mad.
I can second that notion.
You know what, Doug?
In a very sweet way.
I'm like, I'll send you a sticker, and you guys are like, you're loud and obnoxious.
Right? Do you see the love I get from this one over here? This one specifically?
So to this topic, though, it's very similar. Maybe we can talk about it. There's a lot of people, I guess, on the very far left, and I don't mean that in a negative way, who don't want to vote for Harris. And we saw this more so with Biden, right? A lot of it was due to the Israel-Palestine situation. There might be some other reasons. I don't know if maybe we can address that, because I think if she does lose, it'll there'll be multiple reasons, but I think one of the reasons would be that people want somebody who's further left, and they don't want to settle for someone who's not as far left, so to speak.
We've had that a couple times today.
What's that?
We've had that a couple times.
The other
Yeah.
Oh,
We had all of them. Sorry.
no, my internet's crap. Hang on.
I talked about that earlier, Doug, because you and I have talked about this. I'm a progressive, so I think Kamala Harris is incredibly qualified, the most qualified person to ever run for the presidency, no doubt about it. But I'm tired of status quo Democrats. Right?
I understand.
I want progress. I want to move the needle forward, like in big chunks, not little nibbles. But she's got my vote, no doubt about it.
But at the same time, though, you recognize that they're not mutually exclusive. You can still want one, but vote for somebody that's moving the needle in that direction, even if it's not as much as you want it to.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Whereas there are some people I've spoken to, their mindset is because we're not getting everything we want, I'm just gonna just sit it out, and I just don't understand that mindset. I don't get it.
See,
Same.
and the other thing too, when we were talking about when Kamala announced that she was running for president and she was talking about her VP, we were talking about what's his name, Josh Shapiro out of PA, right? And one of the things that but you may not enjoy this, Cece, because one of my biggest things is because my generation is so involved in a big protest, right, against one country and another, and because of Josh Shapiro and his comments that he's made about it and different things in between, my biggest thing I said is we would say goodbye to the Gen Z vote. My generation did not want to vote for Joe Biden whatsoever. Right. There were some of us that did. I was one of them. I said, regardless of what it is, I would not vote for Trump. But when we're coming to this aspect, and especially those who are very much anti-left, I think they forget if they go right or they pick third party, they're not going to go anywhere right now. There's no way we can go anywhere, right? If we can't, like, it's just like the argument talking about third party, right? You can't, trickle down economics doesn't work. Trickle down politics definitely doesn't work. And I have always been a huge thing about that. You know, I would love a third party. I'm a registered independent. I personally think we should have more than just two political parties. But that's not how it's worked. That's not how it's going to work until we change the electoral college, until we actually get rid of lobbying, until we give opportunities for all candidates to have the opportunity to be heard, to be spoken, to be listened to. So
I love what Warner just said. Warner, I adore you. He said Biden 24 was a vote to stop Trump. Harris 24 is to beat him and make history.
Boom.
yeah, her story, not history, her story.
Yes.
That's perfect. That is what it is. Warner, you know, you're not a man of many words, but when you share them, they're poignant. I appreciate that.
Cece, I have to jump. I want to thank you first of all for letting me come up. Doug, it's always good to see you, buddy. Olive, of course, always good to see you. I would just like to say this: these conversations, and I'm so glad you're doing this. I know it's going to be a long day, and I hope you sleep tonight, whatever it takes for you to sleep. I know your husband's around, so like I said, whatever it takes for you to get a good night's sleep tonight. I'm just saying, hey now, you know, you use what you got at your disposal. You know, we already saw the
chicken,
Bernie
brown cow.
We already saw the Bernie cut out, so maybe Bernie makes an appearance. I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
Oh, gosh.
Hands off, Sanders.
Exactly.
We don't kick shit here.
These conversations are so important. So I'm inspired that you did this, and I want to talk to you about your plan, because I think it's something we should all do. Because these are the kinds of things, to hear more voices from people as to the reasons. I like the fact that you made it about people that you know in your community with particular issues. I think we all would all agree that politics is far from perfect, and I've said this a million times. Everybody likes sausage. Double entendre, based on our previous conversation. Everybody likes sausage, but nobody wants to see how the sausage is made, right? So politics is making fucking sausage. Let's be real. Get your hands dirty. Vote.org for everybody. Check your voter registration. Thank you guys very, very much for having me, Cece. I appreciate it, and good to see you too. Take care of yourself.
Love you, Steve.
Love you guys too. See you later.
Good seeing you.
Oh, these conversations are so good. My heart is so full.